Here we are. Let's begin. So we'll connect to our Ujjayi breath. We're starting to deepen. Deepen sensing. And open up in that brilliant light of awareness. To get started, we'll just put a little feeling plus breath together, going through the hands. So the hands have an enormous, rich connection to the brain, to the nervous system. So let's start with the inner palm pressed forward away from the navel, and lightly draw back one finger at a time. And we'll take one Ujjayi breath. Per digit. And as you're moving through, feel the shoulder able to soften, relaxing downward. Spreading the hand bones and the finger bones widely apart. Deepening breath even more. Again, it's this joining of feeling plus breathing. So heightening feeling, deepening breathing. All right. Continue into the next hand. All right, I imagine we're getting near the end. Okay. So I want to show you one other way that we'll love on the wrists. And I'll get nearer so you can see this. So I'm just going to the top of the wrist. Let me back up a little bit. You most instinctively can drop your digit right on the forearm between the two bones, ulnar and the radius. And as you just kind of slide over into that ligamentous area where we start to find the wrist bones, you'll just very easily find a little gap of a divot. Now here, let me get closer. So I'm just kind of following right in between my muscles and bones, and I get to this place in my wrist, and there's a sweet little gap divot. There it is. So I'm just going to kind of distract or kind of draw my hand and wrist that way. So just kind of make an active hand and draw it down. Making an active hand and drawing it down. Active, fingers pull down. So my fingertip kind of remains plunged into that little gap or divot just beyond the ligament, right in that ligament where arm bones become wrist bones. Cool, we'll do it on the other side. So just follow right, and there's the gap. And I'm distracting or moving bone away from bone just to create to further that gap likeness. Extending or opening active hand, pulling the knuckles down. There's something really nice about gapping these joint areas that seems to go along nicely with not only moving those joint areas, but reinstating the pulse of the discs and the synovial fluid. All right, just a nice little sweet extra. Let's straighten the right leg out, and we'll tuck the left heel in near the groin. So we're going to just kind of blend our pranayama right into these first few poses. So I'm using the place right in between my thighs to determine where I want to fold, right between my thighs. So with the hands behind the hips, inhale slowly, smoothly, fully. And if you get to that place where you feel really full and you're intrigued to pause and almost do a double inhale, an extra inhale, that could be fun. Momentary pause, holding the breath, pressing down through the fingertips. And then bring hands between the thighs, so slightly folded between thigh bones. Swift, thorough exhalation. And that we're empty, we'll draw the belly in, spreading the foot bones of that right foot, spreading the hand bones, drawing the shoulders down away from the neck, Relaxing the chin toward the chest. Releasing. And for these moments, we'll resume Ujjayi breath as we inhale the arms out to the side. And then exhaling, take the right hand down to the ground and the left hand behind back, grabbing thigh for a shoulder or chest opening move. It's one of the ways we can promote that blood flow. And yes, to all sorts of areas in the body, just by creating a little line of activity. So active feet, just the remembrance to feelingly open to awareness in the foot, to feel the calf, to engage above the knee and the quad. Lengthen through that inner right leg. It's rolling open that left side chest. Feeling breath further, that opening in the chest wall. Just tracking breath into all these little areas. Tracking feeling into all of these areas of the body. Will promote that circulation. Blood circulation, energy circulation. And release. Inhale, press our way up. And a twist. So tuck this right leg, this straightened leg, under your left. I'm choosing half lotus. You could do a cross-legged. And on exhale, we'll twist to our left. So that's right hand to left knee, with the option of left hand grabbing for left foot. Just going along for this lengthy ride of participating in the body opening, the body awakening, finding ourselves more and more in this feeling awareness. And release. Inhale, unwind. And we'll do those few things on the other side. So straighten the left leg. Tuck the right heel in. We'll start with that round of Uddiyana. So I'm measuring to fold between my thighs, which for me is this way. Fingers behind hips. Inhaling. Even double inhaling if we get to play with that together. And pausing. Relax underneath the skull, soften through the abdomen. And then with that left leg active, left foot active, bring hands in between the thighs, folding, exhale everything out. Remain empty. Drawing belly in, back, and up. You let go of that Uddiyana. Inhale, come up right, reaching the arms out to the side. Exhale, we'll go left arm reach, left ribs lengthen. And that right hand behind back, get some thigh, clothing. And of course, as you desire to release the jaw, this shoulder and chest opening lends itself to accessing the carotid area, the jaw, the scalenes, a deep neck. And release. Inhale, we'll come up right. There's a twist. We'll tuck this left leg underneath the right. And we'll keep the direction of twist opening, turning to our right. So on exhale, twisting to the right. And the right hand might connect with right foot. And just breathing those bones of the spine into that undulating, respiring motion. Release. Inhale, unwind. All right. Let's lie on back. And we'll be working a little bit with some abdominals. And we'll start with that form that looks like tree pose or figure four, called Brolga. So we lie on back, knees over hips, with the hands supporting the head. Inhale into the low back, using some of that low belly pressure, firming structure. Okay? Now exhale, stretch the left leg out, use right hand, plant right foot and left thigh. And the pressure is to encourage this inner left leg to press, tweeze in, pull low belly down. Inhale, let that up, knees over hips. Exhale, stretch the right leg out. Plant the left foot into the inner right thigh. Plant, press. Ensure right leg squeezes back inwardly into the foot. Sink the low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally, knees over hips. Now just a couple little details. As you're exhaling, the left leg out, the right foot into the thigh. Plant, left leg presses in. Engage that quad. I'm doing a lot of leg muscle engagement. Why not? You get that quad to turn on too. Sink the belly down. Inhale, let that up, knees over hips. I'll just talk through this one more side. Exhaling the right leg out, left foot planted into inner right leg. Plant, press, stretch that inner leg out even further. Sink the low belly down. Inhale, let that up. Let's do just 3 more on each side on our own. Deal. So you're all familiar with these. With the foot pressure. Can help us feel the inner leg line. Whole structure of the leg, from forefoot, from big toe, all the way into the deep hip crease. It's a really good way to practice singly, one leg at a time, what we might be able to engage when we're in things like inversions, where our legs are kind of flying out in the air somewhere in handstand or scissors or so feeling how to engage this inner leg line muscularly, energetically, feelingfully. Realizing our legs are different lengths, shin to thigh bone. My preference is to create that contact in a way that keeps both of my pelvic halves on the ground. So sometimes my leg V's out, splays, moves like a little laterally. And that's fine. I like my back for these to be on the ground. There you go. If you're getting that inner leg really turned on, then it's definitely time to rest. Right. So we'll be taking this into bridge where we'll work with a block. We'll be working one leg up and we'll be working this hip opening move. So let's set it up. If you don't have a block, do the best that you can. Feet hip width apart. Fingertips can skim heels. Inhaling. Low belly, low back. Into the ribs, the chest wall. And exhaling, shifting the tailbone toward the sky, the buttock lifts, the spine lifts. Enter bridge. Anytime you like, add the block. It is possible to do the following series without a block. So if you like challenges and you don't experience pain, do without a block. It's kind of fun. So first we take the right ankle to the left thigh. So making another version of figure 4, ankle atop thigh. Inhaling into the right hip crease. Kind of that ball socket joint. And keeping that right foot flexed, active. Exhale, send each thigh bone outwardly in their respective directions. So of course my left thigh bone's moving away from my torso. The right thigh bone's angling off outwardly. And using that block as a little touch point to feel your breath, to feel your breath in your sacrum, to feel your breath in the low belly. And now inhaling, draw that right knee toward the chest. I'm picking the ankle up, and then exhaling, lifting, raising that right leg toward the sky, lifting it away from the block. And we'll reset that right leg down to the ground, and we'll do the same other side. So inhaling, we'll pick that left foot up, crossing the ankle, left ankle, over right thigh. And deepening breath. Deepening breath into the body, the low belly, the low back. Deepening breath, the shape of the breath. Now inhaling, we'll take that left knee, drawing it toward the chest. So we've picked the ankle up. Exhale, left leg reaches skyward. Right thigh bone reaching forward. And we'll set that left foot down. Resuming with feet on ground. Removing any block. And beginning our descent out of bridge. All right, we should do some dolphins. So we'll turn. Moving on to elbows and knees. Draw the shoulders down, down away from the head. If I can create a sense, a motion, a movement sense, of pulling the blades away from one another, often I'll get the feeling result of those upper trapezius, kind of the shoulder blade to neck connection, feeling less clustery, more lengthened. On exhale, we'll press the knees off the ground. So we keep the forearms down, press the knees up. Great. Cool. Right. Of course, we reconnect to breath. And while it may start to become more challenging, physically challenging, to breathe into the upper lung and the chest and the shoulders, we sure can. So we're letting the feeling, the sensation, guide us not only into our body, but into experience. We're making many, many practice routes into experience. Right? Just remembering the why of this practice. This is intended to be a super experiential practice. So you're feeling in your flesh and bones your own patterns and insights, your own breath. Let's add some more interest. Take the right foot toes. Wrap around your left heel cord, your Achilles. And as you step down and sink into that left heel, feel the sit bones lifting into the sky. Inhaling, again reaching the right leg away from the heel into the air. There it is. See a lot of vibrant legs. This is cool. And sending it away from brain. And of course, relaxing the structures of the neck. Our brain can be bathed in fluid and breath. It's letting that brain bath occur. And let's do the other side, bringing the right leg down. We'll take the left foot toes to the right heel cord. As that right heel cord sinks, the sit bones peak even higher, so lightening through the shoulder joints. And then elevating left leg into the sky. And return the left foot to the ground, return the knees to the ground, exiting dolphin 4. A brief rest. And we're just gonna kind of jump right in and get into it. So inhale, we'll slip the hands under the shoulders, exhaling, downward dog. So as I'm turning those arm bones, pressing the knees back off the ground, the arm bones turn such that the biceps, a little elbow crease, start to turn in the direction that would be forward facing or facing the front or the top of your mat. So that's a lot of torsion, that's a lot of articulation in the arm and all the way through the elbow and the wrist. And then using those bright legs to lift, like a pulley, lifting the sit bones into the air, peaking higher. Just to lighten the perception of load or weight on the wrists, the forearm bones. Inhale, we'll step the left foot forward first. And we'll remember that for later. We'll step the left foot forward first for lunge. Exhaling imaginarily, palm pressing, as if compressing an object exactly shoulder width, and then lengthening through that inner arm line, brightening up that feeling pathway from hand to chest, across to the other chest, the other hand. Easy twisting lunge. Inhale, backing the hips up somewhat, right palm down. Exhale, the left hand reaches skyward. Option 2. So option 1, leaving knee down. Option 2, you can press that right knee off the ground. So it's an easy twisting warrior. Inhaling, we'll set the hand down. Exhaling, chaturanga. We step that left foot back. And we lower belly to cobra. Vibrantly stretch those legs toward the back. Back of your mat, inhaling. Lengthening the low back away from the thighs. The heart far away from the abdomen. Exhale, lowering down, hands on the chest, downward dog. All right, lunge, inhale, right foot forward. I'm drawing the palms up to shoulder width. And then engaging, involving the arms. I know this is not energetically economical. We're not trying to save energy, not like an endurance sport. But to engage with energy, experience the kind of the voltage of experience, if you will, and to breathe with it. So we're preparing the senses to accept and receive vivid, clear, accurate information. Preparing the body to receive and be conduit for the charge, the voltage of experience. My senses, spirit don't mess around. Like we're getting ready for a lightning bolt. Easy twisting lunge. So inhaling. We're back the hips up slightly. The left hand down. On the exhale, the right arm up. Option 1 remains here, knee on ground. 2, option 2. You can press the knee off the ground. Easy twisting warrior. Inhale, bring hands down, exhaling, chaturanga. Sit back, lowering belly to earth. Inhale, cobra, shifting the tailbone over here. And exhaling, lowering, hands under chest. Downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward for warrior 1, arms in eagle. So as I exhale, I'm taking this right elbow over the left. Right elbow over the left. Warrior 1 stance, arms right over left. And when we release, inhale, unwinding the arms. If your shoulders just need a moment to kind of hang before going into the next, the twisting warrior, it's perfectly fine. Exhaling, twisting warrior. We'll hook that right elbow now over the left thigh. Right elbow touches left thigh. So I like in these twisting warriors to reach that back leg, in this case it's the right heel, to reach it into the ground. So engaging the quadricep, going into that Achilles and that back of knee, back of calf, lengthening, making that active foot, lifting those little toes toward the edge of your knee. So that left leg isn't just a flat arch flipper resting on the ground. Nothing wrong with flat arches, but we can reach with the foot and articulate the foot no matter the structure of our foot. And that can influence the entire leg. Right, inhale, when we unwind, we set the hands down. And exhaling, we lower. You feel warm, sufficient in the shoulders to begin some upward dogs. I'll open up this choice, inhaling upward dog, or continue with cobra. Exhaling downward dog. Eagle and warrior one. Inhale, the right foot forward. When we exhale, it's the left elbow over the right, the left over the right. And you reach that back leg. As we get deep into that ankle crease and that active foot and that Achilles. A deep crease, sometimes it's that Achilles stretch. You may find the occasion for that reminder to deeply breathe. Releasing for twisting warrior. Inhaling, we unwind the arms. Exhaling, touch the left elbow to your right thigh. And this way the left hand makes fist. Right hand presses against. And release. Inhale, unwind, wiggle hands to ground. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. You decide. Push down to those tops of feet if you do upward dog. Pull with those backs of armpits. Chest lifts forward. Exhaling, downward dog. Relaxing neck in, downward dog. In the very beginning of our practice, we found this place in our wrist, right between the bones, going into the wrist area. You're into those two bones. If you have two bones in your forearm, feel right in between those two bones into the wrist, and feel that wrist, the entire wrist from lateral to medial, or from left to right, is distributing weight. You're spreading your weight through both bones of the forearm, the entire wrist, thumb to pinky. And we'll work chest opener and warrior one. Inhale your left foot forward. The chest opener will be interlacing hands behind back. We'll remain upright for now. Like interlace, exhaling the knuckles, reach back. Deepening into the stance. As this Achilles and this back of leg, these legs get warmer, warmer. We can get into that stance more deeply and more deeply. Release the hands. Inhale. We set the right knee down. We're moving into twisting lunge interlock. So with the right knee down, we exhale, the right arm hit over the left thigh. And now you decide how that interlock shall occur for you. Maybe it's grabbing clothing. Maybe it's leaving that right palm facing up. And release. Inhaling one more. We set the hands under the shoulders. This time, when we exhale, step back, lower back. Everyone lower. All the way down to the ground. We're working shoulder shrugs with our belly down. If you need a little something between your ankles, maybe it just helps support your sacrum, you can throw a block right in between your ankles. Option. We'll bring the hands off to the sides. Thumbs align with collarbones approximately. The arms look like the letter W. Inhaling, stretch legs back. Breathing into the abdomen. Elevating palms, elbows, chest. Exhale, squeeze tops of shoulders. Let up. Squeeze middle parts of shoulder blades. Let up. Squeeze bottom tips of shoulder blades. Let's do that once more. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze tops of shoulders. And then let up, middle parts of blades. And then let up, and bottom tips of blades. And release. Inhale. Into the blocks, slipping the hands under the shoulders. Exhale, downward dog. We'll do that chest opener in warrior one. Inhale, step the right foot forward between hands. I'll interlace the hands behind the back. Exhaling, let's send the knuckles back. Keeping that chest up, deepening into the stance. Release. Inhale the left knee down. We're setting up for twisting lunge interlock. Exhaling the left armpit over the right thigh. And you decide how to work that interlock. Left arm under thigh, right hand behind back. We're softening subsequent layers deeper, deeper. In that process of softening, sensation seems to heighten and open. The actual structure of our sense perception is relieved a little bit more. There's more fluidity, less stultifying pressures, constrictions. So as we're going through these little two-pose series, just layer by softening layer. The work doesn't have to be strenuous, even if you are getting a little sweaty. But the process can be a softening and so a deepening one. All right, release. Inhale, we'll unwind. When we go hands down, there might be that block at our foot of mat. And we lower all the way down for shoulder shrugs. Once more. Here we go, belly to earth. Engaging the inner legs. Inhale, elevate hands, elbows, chest. Exhaling, squeeze tops of shoulders. And let up, squeeze middle parts of shoulder blade. Let up, and then squeeze bottom tips of blades. Now, once more, on your own, one breath, 3 spots. Sometimes it helps me to feel as if I'm lifting the entire forearm toward the ceiling. Lifting, pulling the back of my arm into the back space of my body. Releasing, we'll set it all down. Inhale, hands under chest. Exhale, downward dog. And just a little PSA, I do encourage, if you need to come and go in or out of this practice, we're about 60 in, just so you have a sense of if this is a leave time, this is a good leave time. But we'll go for another 30. So let's step our feet forward, arrive at standing. We'll use a wall to work some inversions. We're working handstand. And if you're kicking up, kick right up. We'll go for 8 breaths, seems great. And of course, if you're not kicking up, we still have that wonderful downward dog on the wall version. Now with that downward dog on the wall, you don't have to leave the wall. But if your heels start to leave the wall, your butt will teeter over the shoulders, and you might even get a little sense of vertical balance with that nice bit of wall support. So I won't talk you into downward dog at the wall. But we'll choose either handstand or downward dog at the wall. 8 breaths. Ready? If you are kicking up, have those hands quite close to the wall, like inches. Now was the time to use those inner legs and to stretch and engage those inner legs toward the sky. Right. Stretching and engaging those legs, deep inner thigh, all the way to the inner ankles. Those inner arms. Pressure going through both sets of forearm bones. The entire wrist and pull. Yes, that's it. That's it. Use all the wrist bones, all the forearm bones. It's great. Yeah, I see you using that radius, that juice, that energy going through that radius side. That's neat. Just give it one more moment to wrap up, to feel complete here. The arms have some jazz. Let's step, pardon me, let's step our left foot forward into warrior 2. Let the arms have a little zest percolating through there. We'll get moving into extended warrior. Exhaling the left hand down, the right arm reaches overhead. Take the time, align, turn, pivot that right foot so that you can engage that right leg. It's a really nice thing. Gets engaged, we get into that hip and that waist area. Such an important area, that hip, waist, kind of back belly area for getting into these twists and into the shoulders. Inhale, we'll bring that right hand down. Now we do need to adjust the feet a little bit. For me, it's nearer and turning the toes more inwardly. I'm adjusting into a warrior 1 footing. Okay. I don't have to come up. We don't have to stand up. We're now moving, twisting, extended warrior. So, moving with the exhale, moving with the breath. Hook that right arm over the left thigh. Now reach the left arm overhead. Yeah. Get the ringer. Get the ringer work for us. Exactly. I'm glad you're all making those best decisions. Of course, we know that right hand, it might not touch the ground, we might fingertip the ground. It really depends on the shoulder. Do a deepened breath. Ooh, we deepen breath. Nice on those leg lines. Yes. Hooray for legs. Release, inhale, unwind. Let's go hands down, knee down, pigeon. Walk the left leg down. Yeah, let's bring hands under chest. Exhaling downward dog. We start with a warrior two stance. Inhale, the right foot forward. Just to recall, the warrior two, our pelvis, chest, facing the long edge of the mat. And we're working extended. So we place the right hand down, the left arm reaches overhead, and just further play around with that left foot. So as that left foot is active and that left leg is engaged, you can, what do I say, the leg can help draw torsion, create that tug, stretch that gets us right into the waist, the abdomen, the lumbar, right out of these ribs, kidney area. It's where the tissue, where the structure is really thick. There it is. Yes. Good. And now when we inhale that left hand down, we reposition the feet. So we're repositioning. For me, it's I step the left foot slightly forward, turning the toes more deeply inwardly. For twisting, extended warrior. Here, exhale the left arm over the right thigh. Stretching that left leg back and into the earth. Right arm stretching overhead or forward. release. Inhale, unwind for pigeon. We set the left knee down, we set the right leg down. Let the shape of each breath help expand. Right? When we're breathing deeply, we're subject to sensing more broadly and deeply throughout the body. And so as we grow accustomed to that broader sensing and that deeper sensing, we start to play with kind of the configuration of our awareness, our consciousness. That field changes. Inhale, we'll bring the hands under the shoulders, exhaling, downward dog. All right. Set the knees down. We'll do a few little things. See what happens. So we'll be working some Eka stuff and some flash stuff. So let me offer this first. I'm using a block to get my left shin in front of my left foot up. So first is working an Eka, and we can do this with a great degree of steadiness, keeping the foot and the hands down on the ground. And we can also play this as raising the right leg away from the ground. And I'm just going to select to stay on and with the block today. If you really wanted to be without block, you could. But for the sake of the next pose, I'll say let's keep a couple pennies in the bank. Let's use the block. We'll set up. I'll talk through this side. So I'm using the block for my left foot and setting up what would be like a crow pose, all the same. Left shin, contact left arm. And it's right here I really like, and I like for you too, to get the arms planted, the hands planted, so that you can feel that weight distribution going through both forearm bones, and thus the whole wrist, the whole palm, the whole hand. There's two things that I see very often that I think could be made better supported. And one of the things is most of us, a lot of us, have weight more in one side of the hand than the other. Okay, and so that's why we do all that chest muscle engagement, is to help pour that weight into the inner part of the hand. And the other is just kind of flattening and deadening the hands on the ground. Use those muscles. Yes, we're stretching and spreading the hand, but there's hand muscles in there. Use those hand muscles, kind of mush grab, mush into that mat. So you're articulating the whole arm with those fingertips and hand muscles. That's it, that's it. Option is raising the right leg or not. Peaking the hips high is a great form of the pose. Good, we'll release this side. We'll shift the block over to the other side. And so now we've got our right foot on the block, right shin against our right arm bone. And setting the hands down, drawing the shoulders away from the neck will help you get into the whole hand. The inner hand. Option one is pressing the knee up, peaking the hips high. Option two is raising the left leg. And as you lift that left leg, pick your pelvis up, pick the weight of your pelvis up and up and up and up and up. Yeah, hips high, hips high. Sweetie. All right, we'll step back, inhaling, stepping both feet back for chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Or cobra. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, let's set the knees down. We'll do one more show and tell. So now flashing arrow. If we put our forearm on the ground, one forearm on the ground. If we go left palm on the ground, so that in and of itself is a really sweet pose. If you were tending to your shoulders or you felt a little fatigued, you could just raise the right leg, and that's a really awesome pose. Another option is step the left foot onto the block so the left shin is on the left arm. Let me get this a little better set. And again, I'm describing what you might see as my right forearm is down, my left foot's on the block, my left shin's on my left arm. And from there, you can work elevating right leg. We'll do both sides. So I'll talk us into it all over again. So I'd move the block to the left side for my left foot. Place the right forearm down and the left palm down. This renders my left elbow up in the air. Moving on exhale, press the knees off the ground. This can be a place where you work, where the weight is kind of distributed oddly through each of the arms. Option two is stepping the left foot onto the block, getting that left shin under the left armpit. And that may take some wriggling and finessing. And option three, this works for anyone, is raising the right leg. Anyone can raise the right leg. Yeah, how fun. Cool. Oh man, there's some flyers. Some flyers and floaters. Great, let's set that right foot down. We'll step off block. We'll switch it to the other side, and this will be kind of our wrapping up apex move. So the block's on the right side. My left forearm is down, my right palm is down. One move we could all play with is pressing the knees off the ground. Right here is a fine place to be and to work. Want to step right foot onto block. You'd connect right shin to right arm. And another option is raising the left leg. Cool. All right. We'll consider our dismount. Take your time to feel complete. We'll have a seat. Comfortable seat. I'm just going to enjoy that one little spot in the wrist. It's wrist traction. And if you're getting a nice bit of friction going, you might feel how that kind of stretches some of the skin and the tissue over that ligature. I'll do the other side. Ooh, crickle crackle. There's a little disc in our wrist. A little delicate disc, just like we have discs in the spine. And so it's really nice, it's really good to offer traction where there's discs. And we'll do a little neck release. So the left hand can extend or reach away from the left ear. Taking 2, 3 deep breaths. And letting the chin relax centrally, downwardly, and we switch over to the other side, the right hand reaching outwardly. Letting the head relax away from the hand. And chin relaxes centrally. And take 2 deep breaths into the back of the neck. So lifting the chest while letting the chin tip down. When we release, we'll set up for Shavasana. Feel free to stay and rest as long as you like. Feel free to come and go. But we'll do a Shavasana. And when you find that restful position, we'll just start another process of releasing, softening, deepening. So now here we kind of extricate out all that helpful work, effort. And we're still playing with sensing, sense awareness. Feeling the body release continues to open up our sense perception. Feel the calves releasing, hanging down into the earth. And the shin bones, in light of that release, there's a breathingness, a very subtle expansion. And the back of the knee expands and opens effortlessly. This is all without effort, without needing to apply work. Just being open to the possibility that there's a little more to sense. And as we further and deepen that release gesture through the hip sockets, the hip crease, you may find that breathing rotation of the bone in the socket. Albeit subtle. The abdomen, all around the heart, softens. And softening in and around the heart. The heart rests in and in between the lungs. It's cradled. Just lub-dubbing every single breath. And stating its rhythmic drumming into every breath. Every breath touching every red blood cell that becomes every area of our body. The eyes soften. And now, when you're ready, bend knees. Turn to a side and press to seated. Namaste.